Hey guys, welcome to another Blame the Network real world networking segment. This one's going to cover more of a VoIP related task that you might see employed in the networking industry. VoIP is kind of one of those weird subsets of networking where occasionally it will fall under the general networking umbrella, if you will, of responsibility. And there's others along that line, security, various things in the data center. That these are different components essentially of sort of subsets within the networking infrastructure that may or may not fall in your networking shop. It really depends on how large of an environment you work in. They may have their own teams dedicated, or you may fall as not really fall, but you may be responsible for these tasks. So moving forward, we've got the OS ticket platform here we're going to use for this example. I just want to give them a plug. It is a open source ticketing system. You can download it and install it. They do, however, also host web-based or cloud-based platforms for people to set up a ticketing system. And it looks like they have some sort of charge for that after an initial demo, which is not unusual for these kind of products. There's plenty of other open source and commercial solutions, so depending on how large your environment is, if you're looking for a ticketing system, obviously do the research and look around online. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. This ticket, 616855, answer coworker's phone. We've got a pretty big ticket queue today, it looks like. And dropped us down to a response here. Alright, the user is Jim Stevens. He's got a user profile set up. It looks like his extension is 1008. And the ticket request, I need to be able to answer my coworker's phone when he's not in the office as we work on the same tasks. His extension is 1001. Thanks. It's kind of on par with a typical help desk ticket that you'll see in an environment. Fortunately, this one has enough information in it, so we're not going out looking for additional details. We can pretty much work with this. Now, there's two ways that we can go about doing this. And there may be even more than this, but two that I can think of off the top of my head to get him fixed up here. We can assign, knowing that his extension is 1008 and his coworkers is 1001. We can assign his coworker's extension onto his phone as well as a secondary line, assuming his phone is capable of supporting it. And that might get the job done. However, if his coworker's there, then he's going to be his phone's going to be ringing every time his coworker gets called too. So it seems to me this is more of he wants to be kind of a fallback. Actually, I just thought of a third way to do it. So the second way, we're not going to assign a secondary extension for the reason I mentioned a moment ago. He probably doesn't want to have his phone ring all the time. Second way I just thought of, at least with the Cisco Call Manager solution and plenty of the open source asterisk and SIP based products. You can also do typically Cisco dubs it a hunt group. Essentially, it will kind of look through a set of phones and ring them in a particular order. You can set them up a whole bunch of different ways. So, for example, a help desk system like this that might be fielding this ticket, you can set up a hunt group where they have an overall number and it rings through various help desk technicians' phones in a sequential order, random order. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it. And you can even have it go on to secondary sets of phones if it makes it through the first set, or all the phones in the first set are busy. So a little bit of informational piece there on how to handle calls coming in. And the third way, the way we're actually going to do it, the second way that would have worked, the hunt group process would have worked. It's quite a bit of overhead for something as simple as what he wants here. So the third way, and what we're going to do is a call pickup group. What that essentially does, if you've seen it, is when your phone rings, if you don't answer, other members of the call pickup group will be notified, usually with a kind of an audio notification or something will show up on their screen. And they can then pick up the call and field it. So we're going to go with that route. I'm going to switch over and log into our call manager server. And we're going to go to our devices. There is a lot to VoIP. There's a lot to Cisco Call Manager. I'm going to try and make more videos covering the various topics. between real world scenarios like you're seeing now and just instructional videos. But we'll keep driving on. We're going to go look at all the devices we have. Luckily, there's not too many. And all these are registered currently. They are, it's kind of off your screen there, but they're Cisco 7940s, and then we have one soft client, and I'll get to that in a minute. So what we need to do, actually, is we need to go and set up a call pickup group. Call pickup group in the call manager is, hold on, give me a second here. Let me try and resize this so you can see it a little better. All right, now we're kind of looking a little better here. So under call routing, call pickup groups are down here. There's a lot of neat features. Meet Me numbers, which is like a conferencing system. They have route plan reports where you can see a bunch of neat info, including unassigned directory numbers for phones. Anyway, like I said, I'll do more videos on these. So going into the going into the call pickup group and go find. There are none there. We're going to go ahead and add a new one. We'll just call it, let's call it HR. I know that Jim works in the HR, Jim Stevens, the HR department. So call pickup group number. This is more of a administrative management number. This is not actually a phone number or anything to do with the dialing. So we're going to go ahead and just set that. Description. We'll go ahead and put J. Stevens. Partition none. Now, partitions and calling search spaces are another thing I'm going to have to cover in a full video alone. The concept's pretty simple. What partitions are in a calling search space, phones in that calling search space can reach those partitions. So partitions kind of go inside of calling search space, and you can use it as a way to kind of segment calling abilities or phone sets, depending on maybe security or a hierarchy purpose. Anyway, we're leaving that as none. Call pickup group notification. This is going to be, we'll do audio and visual alert, and we'll do it after, I guess, 4 seconds. They do it in seconds instead of rings on Cisco's call manager, which I thought was kind of bizarre, because then you kind of have to time out each ring if you're trying to get it to notify them after a certain amount of rings. But we'll just do 4. That's probably honestly only like, that might only be like 1 ring. Okay, indecisive. We'll do 4. And we'll mark what information shows up when they get notified. So we're going to save that. That was HR. DN exists. Okay, so it's got to be unique from your actual phone extensions. This may very well be a signaling number. Like the voicemail system uses these signaling numbers for, say, turning on the message waiting light, turning it off. So let's go ahead and set 2000. Oh man, struggling here. Let's set it to 6000. I don't think I have anything set under that for route patterns. All right, add successful. Let's go back to devices, and it's pretty straightforward from here. We know 1008 and 1001. We can actually search for them based off their directory number, because they don't natively show it here. The descriptions aren't always something to trust. Quite often they're just MAC addresses of the phones. So we're just going to go ahead and let's go 1001. Do we not have a 1001? Am I losing my mind? We do not have a 1001. This is going pretty swell. So we're going to use 1000. 1000 is now his coworkers extension, and that's fine. Going into 1001 or 1000, we're going to go into the actual line configuration. What I just clicked through there pretty quickly was this is the overall phone configuration. There's various settings you can set. Again, I'm not going to go into depth. There's a lot in there that you can mess around with. In the line configuration, honestly, there's just as much to configure. But if you scroll down a little ways here, it's kind of in its own. There it is. Call pickup group. This setting right here. We're going to go ahead and put this 1000 line into HR. Save and apply. That's going to go ahead and reset that phone, and we will go back to the rest of the lines, and we're going to do 1008, which is his number in particular. And in all fairness, that 1001 to 1000 switch, you can't always trust the information they put in. Sometimes you got to call them and get additional details, because it's very possible that what shows up on their line isn't necessarily what their number is. If maybe the phone was modified and not saved properly, you can have separate line text that shows near their soft keys for their lines. So I've run into that a few times. Just a bit of info there for you to keep in mind. So 1008, we're into the line config. We're going to scroll down, set it to the same exact call pickup group, save, and apply. That's it. We're done. Pretty sweet and easy, straightforward. That's pretty much all there is to setting up the call pickup group and putting phones in it. You saw some of the settings you can adjust as far as notification options and whatnot. I'm going to show you a real example now of what happens when we set it to that. So assuming I am now Jim Stevens with the HR department, here is his phone in front of us. This is a soft client Cisco IP communicator. You get this. You can get this from Cisco when you have software from them, and it's kind of a neat way for you to be able to test internally some of the VoIP features without having to keep reconfiguring a physical phone for you. So I'm going to go ahead and what I'm going to do is, since we're simulating ourselves being Jim Stevens, what I'm going to do is go over to one of the other phones here, and I am going to place a call to the 1000 extension. So what we should see is, after a few rings, it should show up on our screen as being able to pick up that call at that point. So I'm going to go ahead and place the call. Probably pause this video for just a second. Okay, call is ringing, and you can see down there that it just showed up. So we're going to go to new call pickup, and now the call came over to us, and I just answered it, and I'm talking to another 7940 across the room from me. So all I did really was I've got 3 phones in play. You got the soft client here that's simulating the customer's phone. You've got 2 7940s. I just placed a call from one of them over to the one that was in the call pickup group with this soft client, and it came through on this soft client as being able to be picked up. I could probably simulate the same thing by dialing it from here, but it's going to be kind of confusing. I don't think I'm going to be able to pick it up. It may not even, no, it doesn't appear to notify me, and the reason is because I'm the calling party. But I'll show you one more time how that worked. I'm going to place the call real quick from that other 7940. And you can hear it in the background, and also there was a notification that came through, audio and visual. You can hear the other phone ringing. So again, I can go ahead and not pick up that call because it sounds like it went through to voicemail, but you get the general idea. If you think it's kind of funny that you have to do a new call and then pick up, that's because the soft client, obviously I don't have a handset, so I have to kind of initiate opening the line. You can also, within Call Manager and various PBX systems for phones, you can set up these soft keys over here on the right to be call pickup functions, so you can just pick it up with that. You can also set the soft keys down on the bottom here. You can adjust what the default setup is for these soft keys down here, so they don't have to look like this particular order. This is just the default. So I could put another button over here that says pickup and have it pick up the call. So that's it in a nutshell. We took care of the ticket. We can go ahead and close that out and let the end user know, and he's now able to pick up calls that come into his coworker's phone if his coworker does not answer. Thanks for watching.